Donna Arp Weitzman is a relationship specialist, and she's on right now. There's a new study out there that says that the happiest relationships in the world are attractive women with ugly guys.
Which is why I think my girlfriend and I are
You're just fine.
Solid relationship.
Yeah, me too. I'm going to be all right. Okay, Donna, is this true?
Hi, Bill. Well, yes, it is. And the new study from Florida State University. However, there have been several studies on this particular pairing, and there's reasons for that. The main reason is if women are married to a man less attractive, and I'm not talking about her being a 10 and him being a 1, but perhaps she's a 6 and he's a 3, or she's a 7 and he's a 4. But women feel less pressure to look perfect all of the time.
Right.
If they're married to a more attractive man, number one, the more attractive men and women are more likely to cheat. So that's always a stress when you're married to one more attractive, especially women married to an attractive man. And also, if you're married to a less attractive man and you're a woman, the less attractive man often feels lucky. He feels grateful to have you. He shows you more attention and focuses less on himself. So that makes women happy.
What do you think was their incentive to do this survey? Is there any man and woman out there that are completely unmatched in Hollywood or politics? Oh, wait a minute, the President of the United States. Do you think it's possible? I mean, because she's a beautiful, beautiful woman.
Right. Well, actually, there are many times that a beautiful woman marries a less attractive man because he has other traits. For instance, money, power, those sorts of things. Or maybe he's just darn good to her. Yeah. And, and that goes a long way in a relationship.
I knew a female, and I once confronted her on this. Beautiful, just drop dead gorgeous. And whenever she would go out, this was college time, and whenever she'd go out, you know what I'm going to say, is she would always go out with two others that not so much. So there she is, looking like this beautiful flower next to some weeds. And that's how I think and I confronted her on this, and she didn't deny it. I think that's what was in her mind. She would do better if she was flanked by two that weren't not so cute.
Well, and studies have proved that out. So she was a very wise woman. A flower does stand out from the weeds. So, and women like to not have so much pressure to look perfect and be appreciated for how they look anyway. So there you go.
All right. Well, Donna, very interesting. As a relation expert, we appreciate your time here this morning. This is quite the study.
Bill, nice to talk to you.
All right. Have a great day. It'd be interesting to dig in to see what is what do you need in order to get past the looks for a woman? Is it power? The president has a lot of power. He has a lot of money. Is it money? How many times do you see a guy and a woman and they're walking down there hand in hand, lovey-dovey, and you're like, he's got to be loaded?
I wondered this actually too. We talked about this last hour. Katy Perry and Russell Brand. Is it because she thinks he's funny? I mean, am I crazy? Am I the only one who thinks
like
Katy
that
Perry's
skinny,
really
unhealthy drug addict look.
But he has that Hollywood look. I could see her being, but that did not last. That marriage did not last.
He looks like who is the character in Pirates of the Caribbean? That
Jack Sparrow.
He looks like Jack Sparrow.
Yeah,
well, that's not really a good argument because women are obsessed with Johnny Depp's Jack Sparrow.
They like him in costume. Who wants to date a 21st century pirate? Nobody.
Yeah. All right. Okay, you bring up a very good point, Jeff. And, this is one of those things we'll never understand. Okay. Because there are a lot of those cases where you look at the guy, you look at the woman, you're like, I will never, ever understand that. But, hey, all the power to you, right? That's how.
She wouldn't go to dinner with me?
Yeah.
She hangs out with him?
All right. What is the okay, we're talking home runs, baseball home runs. And this year, it seems more home runs have been hit this year than any other time in the history of baseball. But I think there are some things that we're leaving out. Baseball used to be just 16 teams. Through the majority of really through maybe even into the 50s. When did it change? When did the first expansion occur? There were 16 teams. And now, how many teams are there in baseball?
30.
30 teams today. So couldn't that play a little role in it?
Sure.
Well, the record
I mean,
just
it's about twice as many teams.
Just
Yeah.
for the record, the record is 5,694, and the previous record was back in 2000. So
2000, and it's growing, by the way.
Yeah.
This is right now. I mean, we still have a few weeks left. Do they count?
Postseason?
Playoffs
I don't
and
know.
postseason? Because we've added to that too. There never used to be a wild card, and games used to be, were they always best of 7? Or so there have been changes over the years to the rules. The other thing I find interesting is, so why now? Why are they? Did we change the bat? It seemed like in 2000, in that era, we were saying, because it went for the first time, it hit 5,000 home runs in 1998. And wouldn't you say that was at a time where we were beginning to get into that whole steroid thing? So a lot of people felt it was steroids that was causing all the home runs.
Sure.
But now we're testing on that, and it probably isn't steroids. So what is the cause? And I want to go back to, I don't know what in the hell was going on in 1981, but there were, through the 70s, through the 50s, 60s, and 70s, there were 3,000 to 2,500, 2,800 home runs that were hit going on. Then we hit 1980. There were 3,087 home runs in 1980. But in 1981, only 1,700. What happened there? Gotta wonder, right? Nobody was hitting home runs that year. 1,781 home runs in 1981. And now here in 2017, we're already over 5,000.
Yeah, that's incredible. You know, they've been saying, I've actually heard this for a good chunk of the year, is that the baseballs are, I'll say, wound. They're knitted, or they've made a change to the baseball, whether in how tight they knit the leather on and the string underneath it, or whether it's a different kind of a core in the ball.
How about the distance? How about
That's a huge
the parks,
factor.
The fences have come in.
I think
gonna play a
absolutely
role.
that plays a role. I mean,
Yeah.
it is the parks are much smaller than they used to be, and keep this in mind. And I know this has existed for a long time with like Yankee Stadium. The old Yankee Stadium was also very short down the lines, but Houston, down the left field line, it's 310. You've got to get it over like a wall.
Yeah.
There's a significant wall in Houston. But, I mean, I know the Ed Hinkle Park at Wankle in South Utica, that's 310, right? You have a Major League Baseball park, Yankee Stadium, I think it's 311 or 312 down the line. Houston's 310 down the line. I mean, that's where kids 14 and 15 need to hit the ball for a home run.
Yeah, so you wonder why the number's do home runs make for more of an exciting game? Probably, maybe.
Yes and no. I like home runs at times, but I mean, when everybody's hitting home runs, I actually think it's much less interesting. The bases are constantly empty,
and
we've
we've seen
fewer
it.
stolen bases.
Well, I mean, the Mets especially, we've really seen it with Cespedes, and when he came in, all of a sudden and even this year for a while, we were seeing these crazy home runs, as one after another. In some games, we were setting records for the number of home runs hit in a game. It was just crazy. And then you're seeing players hitting multiple home runs in games. It's crazy.